Hello and welcome to another Random Code stream. Today I'm going to be working on this issue, which I started doing in the last stream. Actually, let me move my camera down here because I should have it at the bottom right for coding streams, the top right for gaming streams, because then I have the closed captioning going on the bottom. Anyway, I was starting this in the last stream and we're going to continue doing it in this stream and hopefully get it done, because tomorrow I leave for Redmond. Let me get some music going here. As I mentioned before, I'm going to be speaking at VS Live Redmond, so I'm going to be out there for a couple of days. And by a couple of days, I mean 5 days. So I have to leave my house to the mercy of my children. Anyway, so hopefully I can get this done, at least leave it in a good state. In the last stream, I also worked on something, a minor change to Rocks, my mocking library, and I got through all the changes I needed to do on the tests. I did that yesterday afternoon. That was completely boring. I might think about how I can get some of that code to be reused, for lack of a better term. Try to find a way to not have to generate that all the time, because that gets kind of annoying. Every time I change something, I got to change like 100 tests. Not everything, but if I'm changing something in the code generation, that typically takes a while to fix stuff. But oh well, just a thought in the back of my head. Anyway, I got that done. Let's do this one. So I was thinking about where I left things last time. I put this to-do note in here. I think I was going to start making it way too confusing if I found if I said the type is in the current compilation, but then I don't know which one it is, and I'd have to go through yada, yada, yada. So what I've decided to do is change it a little bit. Is the only way you can get AutoDeconstruct to be offered up as a refactoring is if you're on a type declaration. If you're on a type declaration, then we'll offer up a refactoring to put it on that attribute, and we'll also offer up a refactoring to say put it at the assembly level. If it's not a type declaration, but we do get something back from this, then we'll offer up the latter, which is an assembly level type declaration, or an assembly level target AutoDeconstruct attribute. So that way I think that's more clear. If you wanted it on the type, you could always do F12 go to definition, hit the refactoring, have it generated, and off you go. So I think I like that way better. All right. So you find the node here, and what we're going to say first is if node is type declaration syntax. Type declaration, sure. We'll use that as a name. Now what we need to do is we're going to grab actions out of here. Because in both cases, we can offer up the second one. This one. This one is one we're going to add. Okay. And yeah, we need the document. So then here what we're going to do is say this, but we're at the document. And that's much simpler. And I think this one we still want to do here. Why would we want to do that here? I don't know if we care about doing that. We need to get, that's right, we need to get the symbol, so I think we still need to do this. Wait. Shoot. Okay, so we can't do this. We have to say if this here, and then we say if is not null, then we do this. Now we don't know what we're doing there just yet. And then we can pull all this out. Take that off. Okay. And I don't know if we need the solution anymore either. We need a solution, just not that. That was a joke. It's a Monday morning. Okay. So this is only to record declaration class. Oh, we should also have a struct here, because a struct is actually a valid case. And actually, we don't want it for an interface. So we'll say struct here. And then we'll take interface out. Because I don't think we really... Could we? Could you do it by interface? I guess you could. I guess you could. Let's keep this here, back it up enough to get interface back. And then we'll do... Because, yeah, you could generate one for an interface and say for anything that matches that interface, it now has that available. Why not? Okay. So this should come back as true for both the type declaration and if you're using it like as basically an identifier syntax. In that case, what we want to do now what we really need to do is be able to do this. And so let's go to rocks, because we're kind of copy pasting here. This is going to blind you watching, but sorry. This site does not have... it doesn't have dark mode on it. I really wish there was like a way to force dark mode on this site, but unfortunately we can't. Let's maybe make the page a little bit less glaring so we don't see as much whiteness blasting us in the face. So what we want to do is put AutoDeconstruct. And we say public class my target. Now we don't care. Wait, we don't want to save it. Do not require this. So we want a singleton list here. Okay, and so now if we come back to AutoDeconstruct, we should be able to say add attribute lists. Cannot convert from syntax list to attribute list syntax. What does this want? This wants a attribute list syntax. What does an attribute list give back? Attribute list syntax. So maybe... There we go. Okay. God, I love that site. If you are doing Roslyn work, this is such a good site to have. RoslynQuoter.AzureWebsites.net. It's amazing because you can just have it generate code for you and then just have it work. All right. So that's our new type declaration node with this. We're now going to take the root and say replace the current one we have with this new one to say add AutoDeconstruct, and that should just work. Now the other one is a little bit more involved, because the other one is kind of like this. Where, you know, blah, blah, blah. I guess we'd want to do original definition in this case. So what we could do here is say I named type symbol, deconstruct type symbol. So we've got that in there. And we paste that in here. And then if that's an unbound generic, we do that just to get it in the right state. We're going to need the root, so we should probably pass that in first, just to be consistent with how we're doing the other thing. Root. Figure out which document we should actually put the changes in. Yes. So we're going to need the context as well. So that we can get this. Let's copy that comment as well. So we want to get AutoDeconstruct attribute file. We're going to need the document, of course. And we need to make this async. Docu. Why don't you know what that is? Document. Context document. Oh. I guess. What's the problem? Like, all these don't matter if I call it this way, but cannot convert from Microsoft Code Analysis document to Microsoft Code Analysis document. You're drunk. Task of code action async. Oh. Jeez. Semantic current model. This just keeps going, doesn't it? Cancellation token. Current root equals this monstrosity. So now we need to pass in model and cancellation token. And now we need to await this. What in the world? System reflection metadata document? Well, no. Why did that even come up as a thing? Yikes. Get semantic. You know what? I love nullable analysis, but sometimes it's like, shut up. I should have F2'd it. Because you get this really, really ugly line there. Because you have to wait this, you have to get that. You have to, what a mess. And we're still not returning anything. Okay. And what we want to do here is actions.add, awaiting this. There we go. Now all we need is a deck of cards. So we've got everything I think we need. We need a document, current model, current root, this, and then what is all this? I think what I'm trying to do here is see if I currently have it in the current model. Because if I do, there's no reason to offer up this refactoring. So fine, we'll copy semantic model extensions. Whoops. Thank you. Has target auto deconstruct attribute definition. So we're going to look this, and what we're going to look for is target auto deconstruct. Is it containing namespace auto deconstruct? Is the containing namespace this? At that point, I don't really care. I don't want to get into that. If the syntax list is a type of expression, which it should, and does it equal our target type symbol? Okay. And the reason we did all that is because we want to say this, which if our current model has this, deconstruct type symbol. Now we can actually do our thing. Which is a whole bunch of messiness. What we want to do is we want to basically do this, except Not really. We want assembly, target AutoDeconstruct type of, and we can put whatever we want there. So it's 1, 2, 1, 2. We don't even need this. Right? So if we come back here, we did down here, we did attribute list. There, that grabs everything. Kind of ugly, but again, I don't have to write all this code, which yeah, I want it as a qualified name. Right, we want auto deconstruct target auto deconstruct. That's what we want. So again, we'll just grab this. But that is better than us typing code. With argument list, type of expression, except the type of expression is just this. There. We don't know what good full name is. Oh, God. Jeez. I hate copying and pasting code. I do it all across all my analyzer and refactoring solution, all these projects. I have all this, not a lot, but enough that I keep copying and pasting stuff. And I think it would really be nice to not do this. Is this the only thing in? Yeah, fine. It'd be really nice just to put all this in a helper library type of thing. Because then I wouldn't, like, if I have to fix something in one of these, then I got to go fix it in all the other ones. But the problem is trying to reference this. If I would make something like that and say, what if I copied and pasted across a bunch of these projects? How would I then get it to be referenced correctly in these projects? That's just a pain in the butt. You know, I think, actually, if I think about it, if I had this like source project with all these helper things, then I could put that in something that I then reference in these other projects, which would be nice. It also would be a pain because every time I realize I need to share something, I got to realize, is this really shared? Is this general enough? I would then need to make an update to that project, go into all those other projects, update them so they're targeting the new one, you know, distribute new packages for that. That could get to be a pain in the butt as well. But it is something to think about. For good, bad, or indifferent. Okay, so if I come back to here, we get our attribute list. And what we want to do is say var new root is equal to current root, add attribute lists. Right? What did I pass in current root as? A compilation unit syntax. Why don't you like this? What did I type before? Did I just misspell it? Oh, I wasn't pluraled. Okay. That does matter. No. Simplify. If I don't need this. There. Okay. So, by the way, if you haven't subscribed to the channel just yet, please do so. Would greatly appreciate it. I'm trying to get to 5,000 subscribers now, so any new subscription. Jeez. Yeah, coffee did not go down well. Whoops. So any new subscription helps, and I don't need to say this as much. Wow, that was fun. Anyway, please subscribe is what I'm trying to get at. And if you've already subscribed, I appreciate you. Thank you very much. All right. Just went down the wrong way, and that was not fun. But what is fun is that I think I can finally return something. Not net root, new root. So now we're going to have to come all the way back up here. We got to make this nullable because we may or may not be able to do this. And so we're going to grab this and say var target action is equal to this if is not null. Then we're going to put that in there. And then finally, I think all right, so we get actions, so we know we can have 2 at the most. We then look at the parent symbol, and if we get something that's not null, then that's something that we can actually do as a target attribute. And that goes on the assembly. We just need to now, within this, figure out which file it goes in. Then in target action here, once we get it and we say, yes, we actually created one, we can add it as an action. If we're on the type declaration itself, then we can add just the AutoDeconstruct. So we can deconstruct. So we can offer up 1, potentially 2 refactorings and leave it up to the user to say, which one do you want? For the target, it's a little bit harder because we have to figure out which document it's in, which I've already done this in Rocks, so we copy that over. Then we make the attribute for the assembly. Is that right? Yeah, it is. Okay, let's not blind myself anymore. Put the white screen. So we'll offer up a target AutoDeconstruct if we can. In the other case, we'll I think we actually want to do this. We want to offer up the qualified name. Yes. Because we wanted to always, we don't want users to have to put in the using statement everywhere. So that's why I'll do that. We could actually look to see, do you have the using, blah, 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 but I'm going to go with this for now. So we put, oh, that's not right. Yeah. It does look a little weird when you do it that way, but you know what? I have another project here. And I think I have yeah. So what I can do is say if the root doesn't have this using, then put it there. I kind of like that. So let's back this up to putting this there. We'll do that. And then we'll also say if new root does not have AutoDeconstruct, then we don't need to do this. Of course, I don't know what has using is. Here's another example of copying and pasting code. This is syntax, node extensions. So then we can offer that up as that. The reason I don't want to do it in this one, where you put it at the assembly level, is because I don't know which document you're putting it in. Though arguably I could do the same thing. The reason why I do a deconstruct type symbol is because I don't want to try to figure out which using statement is at the top of the file. Though the more I think about this, we could do the same thing here. Like we could just say that, and then instead of getting the full name, we could just say name. Except it doesn't like that. Why doesn't it like that? It's a string type of expression. Oh, type of expression. When we do get full name, we get a name syntax back. This just keeps going. Syntax factory. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, can we just say parse name? Yeah. Yeah. There. That's not ugly at all. Now what we would do, though, is we do something like this. Where if the new root does not have AutoDeconstruct, it would do that. But we also need to do the symbols we don't have one for either of these. I bet I do have in Rocks. We need to get... Why does it save it all the time? I don't know why. I don't understand that one. We want to get... has using. We just want to get the name, the full namespace. And you'd think that would be easy, but it's not. So what we want is... I thought I had somewhere get namespace. Get namespaces. This gets you all the namespaces. But that's not really what I was hoping for. I want to just say something that gets me the name. Because if you see here, containing namespace, what that does is it gets you the outer one, but you want to do more than just that. Yeah, I thought I had a method that did that. I guess I don't. Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately, I guess God, where the hell do I use this? That's a to-do. Like, why do I even have this method here if I don't even use it in any of my code? Like, if I do a KR on this, final references, it's only in the test. That's useless if there's no real point to it. I'm going to put that down. In rocks. I wish that was something that would be easier to find. Like that telling me, hey, you're not using this anymore. Get rid of it. Anyway, back to the problem at hand. What I need is a way to say, give me all the namespaces. Fine, I'll just write it. We'll do it live. This is interesting. Things to display parts. For the nearest enclosing namespace to put this. This is almost hinting at that the namespace actually is all of them. Constituent namespaces. Namespaces. It's all of it's all the members of this symbol that are namespaces. Sometimes I don't think they really thought this through. Because there's a part of me that just goes, I thought the containing namespace was just the previous thing, not the entire namespace, but I could be wrong on that. I probably am wrong on that. I guess we write a test and find out. Because it would be nicer if it was just name. Right, so if we just said this, if the new root does not have the types, no, this. Now I think I'm finally at the spot where this would work. Okay. Can we at least get a couple of tests in to see how wrong I am? Add new project, class library, AutoDeconstruct, completions, tests. Sure. No, not that. Now we need to set up the test project. And do that. Auto. What is the thing I'm working on right now? All right. All right. No. Oh my God. We don't need to, we're going to need to reference that though. Yeah, project reference that. Okay. And then we're going to need all of these. And you're going to complain about something, aren't you? Okay. So now we have a class here. No. C tests. Okay. Yeah, you're missing something. Again, this is the not fun part about using central package management. You just can't copy and paste files in. It gets really whiny about that. So we should have C# in common, right? We do. Okay, so we have those. Code refactoring tests we do not have. So we'll grab that one. Okay. Workspaces. I bet we don't have that one either. Oh, yeah, we do. Okay, cool. Test framework we should have. NuGet frameworks we should have. Yes. Now we should have all that. Now we should be good. No, I don't. Okay. Let's just try to build this. C# workspaces, of course. Huh? We have a reference here to that as a package reference. Oh, okay. There we go. Shut up. Test. Okay, so now we can actually write a test instead of dealing with packages. Let's just grab this and get it into the state we want. Run when target is type definition. Actually, yeah, we forgot something here too. Before we offer up the refactoring, we should see if ugh, that's gonna suck. The thing I'm getting at is what would be nice is in this project is to have a way to say check to see if you can even add the attribute. What I'm just doing is adding the attribute, and then by doing that, the source generator will kick in and go, nope, that's not valid because you already have a you already have a deconstruct method for it. So what would be nice is if I ran my check here using the model to say like try get model or whatever that is. And then if that's null, then don't offer the refactoring. But then I would have to put that code in a library that's shared across both my source generator project and my refactoring project. And again, sharing stuff like that sucks. So what I'm going to do is just ignore that. And so what we want to have here is a public class and just say our caret is here. We literally do not care about anything else. What we would expect, though, is the fixed source is actually to offer up 2 using AutoDeconstruct, and then it puts AutoDeconstruct here. We don't have a test assistance. Let's just grab these 2 because we copy and paste them everywhere. Yes, change that. And then change that. And you don't know. Well, in this case, it's automatically going to be that, so we don't have to worry about that. Okay. Fine, shut up. Okay, so now in this case, what we should have is here's our source file, and our source file will now be the fixed source. We wouldn't have any diagnostics to think of here. That would not occur. Right. So the code action index is 0 in this case. If I look back on my refactoring, this one is going to offer up 2. And the first one wait. Do I have a case here? I thought I did, yeah. Okay. Source, fixed source, but then we can have a fixed definition source. So in this case, what it's going to do and actually, I just realized something in my refactoring. If not string is null or white space that, and it doesn't have that. Because if it's a there's nothing in the namespace, there's no reason to do this. And so we'll put Okay, so in this case, it only... Oh, I see what I'm doing here. Okay. Now, you're probably like, what is he doing? Those are the sources. Those are the fixed source. Ah, okay. So our source is this. Our fixes are, in this case, going to be both these things. But in this case, what it would do is it would put it in the same file. And so what we would have here is target AutoDeconstruct type of target usage. There. Now, I'm not saying this is going to work. I'm just saying I think this is correct. Let's watch it fail. Because it's going to. There's no way this would have worked the first time. Expected. Application expected new state sources and update documents to be equal, but new state sources contains 2 documents and updated documents contains 1 document. Okay, well, let's go into our refactoring and debug the hell out of it. So, because I don't know what's going on at this point. Okay, so we get our document. This should be source. Yep. No, we get the span. The span should be short, yeah, because it's only 1 character. Get the model. That should not be the case. We get the root, and we find the node. The node is a class declaration, which is what we want. We get the symbol, which is target usage. We say, aha. We get an action. And we actually did get an action. It's not null, so we add it. And now we also add an AutoDeconstruct action. So we have 2 actions that we've added. So we register a refactoring. And now we're off into La La Land. Well, we expected new state sources and update documents to be equal. But new state sources contains 2 documents. Okay, I don't understand that. We should have offered up code action index. We don't have diagnostics. We can ignore that. We only have 1 source. Oh, well, we should change that right now. AutoDeconstruct. If we want to add property, but that doesn't really matter to what we're doing here. AutoDeconstruct definitions. So we're giving 1 source and 2 fixed sources. Right? You wouldn't do this twice. This is also where I get a little confused about the APIs that Microsoft releases. Well, this is different. I think I saw something about is global namespace, and that's right. Down here, we want to say if it's not null or white space. We also want to say if it's not is global namespace and that. Now what happens? It still fails. It's kind of hard to read. 1. The name global space also contains. Well, wait a minute. We're getting closer-ish. Why did it... Did it not even... What the f... The name global name... What is this? What is it saying? The namespace, global namespace, already contains a definition for target usage. Is it because I'm giving two sources? And yeah, I think that's the problem. But if I do this, then it's going to break and say, yeah. Expected new state sources and update documents be equal. New state sources contains 2 documents, and updated documents contains 1 document. 1 documents. Expected new state sources. We get the sources. We say what the fixed state is. If we look at this, because we are saying we want the build property to be set, we have 2 sources here. But it doesn't make sense. Do I... Now it's going to complain because 1 has 2. Contents of source did not match. Diff shown with expected as baseline. Well, it got, okay. What? What? Huh? AutoDeconstruct attribute. AutoDeconstruct, yes. Why did it... What? That doesn't make any sense. Code refactoring. Context of source did not match. Diff. Why does it think it needs this here? That's not even remotely correct. And why wouldn't it put the What? This is bizarre. All right, we're going to copy up more stuff. Because that should never... Context. AutoDeconstruct is not an attribute class. What? Of course it is. Oh, I know one thing I'm forgetting. It's the thing I took out here. The refactoring is in... yeah. I was wrong. We do need to reference this for now. And we need a AutoDeconstruct attribute. Okay, so now let's run this. Okay, now it passes. That's a start. Let's put this back in here. Now let's see what the test does. It should fail. But it's like it's merging two into... That doesn't make any sense. Oh, I'm also missing this. Okay. One. Okay. If we go back down here, where do we want to add it? We want to add it on the attribute list. So that's this. Okay. So I forgot that, but that still doesn't make any sense as to why this is trying to merge the two into one. See, now it's putting that there. It thinks it needs to put this there. It puts, all this is correct, but it's like it's trying to... It's like it's trying to put it into... the same output file, which makes sense, but Actually, let me look at something, not in rocks. A thought just came to my head. Let's look at transpire, because I know I have tests for refactorings here. And that's just one. I think is it? Ah, yes. We want it by index. But the index here is saying 0. What happens if I just change this to a 1? I'm flying blind here. That passes. Oh, because this one is the second one to come in, not the first. Oh, yeah. Okay. Finally, it makes sense to me. Now, this is a little ugly because we want to say the 0th one is going to give the fixed definition source. There. Okay, we finally have made some progress. Finally have made some progress. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to finish this out and close it out today, but I have made some progress. And I need to make some other progress on things. I need to go for a bike ride. I need to cut the grass. I need to pack today. I need to play some Halo. But I did finally get this to a workable, solution. So yeah, lots of like 20 things just whirled through my head. But 22 finally got the refactoring to pass a test. More tests to come. Okay. That's a decent-ish place to stop. I don't think I have any more crazy commented things out and all that other stuff. But yeah, I at least got this to work. It feels messy, but I got it to work. So there's going to be some refinement going on underneath the scenes. It would be nice if I could have the refactoring work for, instead of running it twice, is to say this one is for this index, this one is for this index. That's not the way it works. So, actually, wait a minute. Why am I passing in true here? If I look at my test assistant and I say add property, AutoDeconstruct attribute file. Is that not the thing I'm calling it, or I'm expecting it to be called? No, AutoDeconstruct attribute file. Well, I'm now a little curious. I want to get to this point because I just realized I'm setting this to, and let's just comment out this one for now. Oh, for God's sakes. Okay, so we try to get the value, and we get it. We need to change the name here. That's the name that we're giving it. Right? Yeah, AutoDeconstruct definitions. If it's not null, which it is null. Oh, I know why. Okay, that makes sense. So we're saying we want it in that file, but we don't put it, we don't actually have that document in a source. That makes sense. Okay. But let's change these because these should be false. Because we are not expecting there to be a file. But that's a good test to keep in mind. All right, let's commit that. Change the property state. Okay. All right. Now I am going to be done with this stream. So I want to thank everybody who's either been watching live as I struggle through this, but finally got to some progress, or if you're watching this on a VOD. Either way, if you haven't subscribed to the channel just yet, please do so. I'd greatly appreciate it. I'm trying to get to 5,000 subscribers, so any new subscription helps. If you've already subscribed, I appreciate you for doing that. And I said all that without choking on any coffee this time, so that's good. I will probably be doing 1 or maybe 2 streams with Halo 3 this afternoon. It all depends on how much stuff I get done today. But I want to get at least, I'm definitely going to do 1, maybe 2. We'll see. But either way, I am done with this stream. Thank you all for watching. Take care, and I hope to see you in the future.